match, and then this. So all of this right here is what you want to put at the very bottom of your Apache document. So that stuff's in there. That's cool. So I need to write this file. So to actually save a file in Nano, I'm going to hit Control and the O key. And it'll ask, do you want to write this file? Just hit enter, and yes, you want to write it. It'll show you that it wrote 531 lines, and then when you're done with that, just hit Control X and you can close Nano. And that's it. So now we've got PHP set up, but Apache does not know PHP exists right now. So we need to restart the Apache server. So we're going to say service, and we're going to say Apache 24, and we're going to say restart. And it restarts. Really, and then right now you'll get this error right now. It's going to tell you that there's not a qualified server name, which is not really a big deal. I'll show you how you can set a server name if you want to, but you don't really have to. Apache's still going to work. It's not going to break anything, so Apache's still going to work. So the other thing that I need to install as well is I'm going to do another PKG, and I'm going to search this time, and this is going to be PHP extensions. PKG. I don't know why I'm doing that. So PKG search, and then PHP. Let's see. Let's do PHP 5.6 and search. So it searched out everything for PHP. What I want are the extensions for 5.6. So I want this right here. So PHP 5.6 dash extensions. So let's type that. So pkg install PHP 5.6 dash extensions, and because I can't spell. There it is. I don't know why I did that. I got extensions. So I've got my extensions, and I'm just going to say yes to the extensions, and it's going to download all the extensions, at least the ones that are in that, and then it's installing all of them. So I'm going to restart the Apache server again. Service, Apache 24, restart. And there we go. So the last thing that I want to be able to do is I want to have a graphical user interface to be able to interface with my MySQL database. So I want to install something like Php Myadmin. So let's do another pkg install Php Myadmin, and you'll look and you'll see that there actually are some additional PHP modules that need to be installed. It found all the dependencies, so it's going to get all the other PHPs that it needs, and that's fine. And I'm going to say yes, and it's going to go fetch them all. So it's going to fetch all those files, and it's downloading them, and they're going pretty quick. And there we go. So you can see the internet is actually working through this. This particular jail has internet access because I'm able to download these things. If the network were not properly configured for this jail and for my Freenas box, I would not be able to get a link out to the out to the interwebs, out to the real people out there in the web. So it's it is set up correctly. So everything's extracting, and it's extracting libx11, which I don't really know why it's extracting x11. I think these extensions are part of the x11 for the actual interface, but I don't have an interface running, and nor will I, because this is all going to be just running from command line. So that's all good. All that stuff's installing, and now it's extracting the Php Myadmin. It's extracting that. Now remember, as I'm doing this, this is being built with MySQL Server 5.6 and PHP version 5.6. I know that there is a 5.7 for PHP, I believe, and I believe there's a 5.7 for MySQL, but I'm not using those yet because I just don't trust it yet. It's not been out in the microcosm long enough for me. So we can see there's some things that I need to add once again to my httpd.conf file. So if I have Apache version 2.4 or above, which we do, we have 2.4 and above. So we're actually running version 2.4. So I'm going to select this stuff here and then let go, and that copies it for me. And then I'm going to go back in here and run nano again. So let's say nano and /user /local /etc /apache 24 /httpd.conf. And there's our file. I'm just going to page down and go to the very bottom of my document, and I'm going to hit return once and then right click and then paste this in there. So everything is good. What this is actually doing is that I can actually type in Php Myadmin all lowercase, and it will symbol, it's an alias symbol link to the actual place where Php Myadmin is installed at. So I'm going to go ahead and write this out. So Control O and then hit enter to save it, and then Control X to close it. And let's restart Apache again. So service Apache 24 restart. Now, one thing that I will say is that Bitvice lets you basically just reuse commands over and over again. If you just use the arrow key, you can cycle back through commands you've already done. But I feel that when you're in command line, you're better off just typing the commands over again as you're learning. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to reinforce the fact that you need to learn the command line commands. So I'm not being a hypocrite and not doing it myself. So, you know, I try to go through and know where my files and stuff are at, and where folders are at, and all that good stuff like that. So that's just best practice as you're learning command line and learning either BSD or Linux or whatever you're doing. So let's go and see if this jail now works. So if we go in here, the jail ID, the jail IPv4 address is 10.1.10.65. So let's actually come in here and we're going to type that in. So 10.1.10.65. And we should get, it works. Yes, it does work. This is the root of the Apache server. So this is the example Apache file that always is there when you have a new Apache install. So let's see if Php Myadmin works. So I'm going to say /php myadmin and then / and then C. And you'll see it says you don't have permission to access Php Myadmin on this server. Well, you do, but you've got to set something inside of your Apache configuration file of all things. So I'm going to cheat this time. I'm just going to page up and go back and do this. So I'll show you where you have to change inside of your Apache file. If we go in here, there's actually one line in here. It's really, and I wish that someone had told me. Well, actually I knew, but I wish it were more like, hey, you need to do this or you're not going to be able to have access to this folder, because Apache's basically doing that. So you can see right here where it says directory, allow override none, and it says require all denied. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take this and say grant, and then write this out, hit enter, hit X, and then let's restart the Apache server once again. And oh, should have been granted. Sorry about that. So let's go back in here. Just going to page down and go and look for that. There we go. So there it is. It should require all granted. And then write it out. Hit enter. Exit. Restart the server again. And now you see everything is fine. And if we also want to get rid of this where it says set server name, we can get rid of that now too. So let's go back into the config file and I'll show you where the server name is at. So if I go down in here, we'll look and we'll find the server name. A lot of this stuff is kind of buried, and if you don't know where it is, you know, you can get lost. So you can see right here, this is commented out. So right now server name is www.example.com. I'm just going to do server name, and I'm just going to change this to be 10.1.10.65, I believe. Is that what we made it? Let's see. Yep, 6.5. So, and I'm going to uncomment this. So I'm going to take the number sign away. So now that's uncommented. And let's write this out and enter and then exit. And then once again, let's restart the Apache server. So you can see that I no longer get the error that was hitting before of saying that I didn't have a server name and stuff like that. So if you want to add a server name, basically the name is going to be the IP address that this Apache server is sitting at. So that's it. So now let's go back in here and try my PHP admin once again. So PHP Myadmin, looks like it's still throwing me a loop. So let's say, let's look back in my config file again and make sure there's something else we didn't leave out. Let's go all the way down to the bottom of it. And so, okay, right here, required host. This is supposed to be .10.1.10.65 because this is local and it's options none. This is none. So PHP Myadmin, and I typed that right. Just wanted to make sure. And let's write this out again and close it. Every time you make a change to the config file, you have to restart the server. So it's going to be cumbersome, but you have to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it. And it's still saying, that's weird. So, you know what? Let's actually take away the required host. Shouldn't have a required host. So let's get rid of required host right there. And looks like everything is there. Let's actually do something else. Let's make sure that this folder actually exists. So I'm going to say cd, I'm going to go to user /local /www. So cd user, cd local, something could be wrong, so cd www, and let's do a ls command. And both of the folders are sitting there. One thing that I really do like about using BitVice as well is that I get an Sftp window. So I'm going to say new window, open up my window, and let's go look at that folder and make sure the folder has permissions on it. So I'm going to go here to mount and go to the, I want to go to the share inside of my Freenas box that actually holds the jail that I'm looking at. So here are my jails. I think. Now let's go back. So here, there's my jails, and there's the web server jail. So inside of the web server jail, I'm going to go to user, and let's go to local, and then www, and then let's look at this folder and see what the permissions are set for it. Okay, so let's turn on all the permissions for it. So 777 all across the board, hit OK, and let's actually restart the server again, just in case. So now it's restarted. It's back here. And let's see, PHP. So PHP Myadmin. And you can see I'm doing all this as we go. So it's when some things are kooky, you see it happening live. The kookiness is happening live right now to me. So let's actually go look at my other config file from my other jail. I know that jail is actually up and running and working. So let's go to mount and go in here and look at this jail. The jail that I'm looking for is a Kodi database jail. So let's say user local, no, not bin, etc, Apache. Let's look at this config file. So I'm going to edit it. Let's look at this config file. So down in here, looks like okay, this is a little bit different. So I think I know what I did when I did the original one. So it's still giving me the fact that I can't access, and sometimes that'll happen when you go and you install Php Myadmin. It just won't have access to be able to execute Php Myadmin. So what I want to do is I want to say allow from all. So right here where it just has local, I'm going to come back in here and we're going to say allow, and I believe that's what it is. Yeah, allow from all. So allow from all, and let's write this out, close it, restart Apache again, and see if that's gonna let us. Nope, still kills it. That's really weird. Wait a minute. There we go. So that's what it is. So you'll see right here, what you want to do is you want to make sure that Apache, your Php Myadmin section of this, allow from all. So this is basically your PHP configuration file, which is saying allow from all. So you can see now Php Myadmin is running. You have to do Php Myadmin / that makes it run. That's how the PHP runs. So I'm going to type in root, and whatever your root password was when you set up your MySQL database, that's what this password will be. So you see I typed that in, and never, I don't want to remember that. And you'll see I have a brand new spanking MySQL database set up, and there it is. Everything's there. Yay. That's cool. So I really like doing this because you got to see me actually diagnose something and actually go through it. It happens to the best of us. So even though I've been doing this for quite a long time, running in Linux environments, sometimes you'll just forget things. I don't set up Php Myadmin every day, but I do like having Php Myadmin because this lets me be able to get directly to my PHP database and be able to administer it and even save it. Now I'm not a guru when it comes to running MySQL from command line. I actually don't like it. I can do basic things in command line with MySQL, like look at tables and sort tables and do queries and stuff like that. But I would rather have some kind of graphical sense when I'm looking at big data sets. And I can show you what I mean if I go back in here and go to my actual Php Myadmin on this server. So this is another server running Php Myadmin, and I'm going to hit OK and go and open this up. So you can see that this PHP or this MySQL installation, this is actually running my Kodi database. And so I have all of my database for Kodi running from here, which is really nice because I can connect the other Kodi boxes I have in the house to this particular MySQL server, and they will read all of the same files. The other thing that makes it really cool is that by having one centralized MySQL database, I can also stop, start, and resume movies from room to room to room throughout the house, or from computer to computer, by using this PHP file. And maybe I'll show you how to do that, because doing it is actually really, really simple. Like Kodi makes it really super simple of how to do it. It's basically just a configuration file that you have to put into a special folder inside of Kodi. That was it. This has been a long time coming, redoing this tutorial. So I redid it. It's almost about the same time as it was last time. I'm going to cut it into 2 videos, and hopefully you enjoy it. This one will be high res, 1080p, and if you like what I do here on the channel, hopefully subscribe, and especially if you want more great videos like this, if you found this useful, then leave a comment if you found it useful. If you hated it, then leave a comment and tell me you hated it, and I should stop doing these videos or something like that. And Anyway, until next time, my digital mutants, I am Delmico L. Cunningham, better known as Dr. Media.